All right. Over the last couple of days, I have really been thinking about what the heck is OpenAI thinking? And it must be something because these are smart people over there, but I couldn't figure it out immediately. Now I think I have a pretty good insight as to what's going on. But what are they doing? What's the master plan ever since the release of GPT 4o? So, what is Sam Altman thinking? And the first question everybody's asking is, why is GPT 4o free? If you're a non paying user, you think, great, it is great. You don't have to pay for anything. Now you don't have to use that pretty simple 3.5 or GPT 3.5. Compared to some of the other free models, it wasn't that good. So now you get to use all the cool stuff, the GPT store, images, everything. So this is great. But if you're a paid user like me, paying 20 bucks a month, you're thinking, why am I even going to continue paying? And Sam Altman said recently, the business model so far is working great. They're making a ton off this 20 bucks a month stuff. And a lot of people, maybe myself included, will stop paying. So they're aware of this. So what are they thinking? Just giving it all away essentially for free. There's barely any difference between the free and the paid at this point, a little bit, but what are they thinking? So why is this free? And the first reason is they are looking for mass adoption. They want everybody using it, whether it's free or paid to start off. So they need, like right now, a lot of people are using Gemini, Claude, Facebook's Llama 3, which is open source. There's a bunch of other ones, Mistral. And unless you're paying for GPT-4 up until this point, which is really a small fraction of people, a lot of them are just silently quitting using other ones. And OpenAI has said, look, we want everybody using this thing. We have reasons, which I'm going to get to, but why mass adoption is so important, but they want everybody using it. So the best thing to do is just give it away. So for them, more free users means more money because a certain percentage of the free users do upgrade whenever they get around to launching GPT-5, which I think is coming in the summer. That's my guess, fall at the latest, but maybe as early as June. So they want more over the next, I'm guessing, 4 to 6 weeks. They want a ton of people using this, buzzing about it. Then they're going to launch something huge with GPT-5. So they're, more users, a certain percentage upgrades. That's what they're thinking there. And if you remember back to the beginning, November 2022, um, this is how it started. It started with GPT 3.5. It was totally free. There was no paid option, and it went super viral. And they want the same type of thing again, where this just explodes in popularity, and then they flip a switch and offer a better paid thing. They're also, I believe, using all the free users to train the new model GPT-5. So every time you're using it now, the 4o model, you're typing stuff in, interacting with it, uploading pictures, videos, whatever. Uh, they can use all that to train something better. And Google, Facebook, these guys already have a ton of stuff that they can train off. So OpenAI is looking for their own training data, and letting people use it is a big one to start training the data and understanding user behavior and whatever. They can gain a lot of insight into that, whether it's training, whatever. So just watching their users use it is a big benefit. And this is a war out there. So it's a huge competition. It's a zero sum game. If you are using Google Gemini, you're not using OpenAI, generally speaking, and vice versa, or with Llama from Meta, Facebook. So it's a war. Everybody wants market share. The other ones are going free, and you know they have to compete. So their original free model wasn't as good. So it's a war. Now this is interesting. I'm going to flip over to a video clip. Let's watch it together. This came out a couple weeks ago from one of my favorite podcasts, The All In. These guys are all tech billionaires. They have some interesting points sometimes. It's worth watching. But Chamath says, I forget how to pronounce his last name, but he says they're doing the scorched earth approach. That's what he recommends to keep up with OpenAI, these other guys. I'll let you watch the video, then I'll comment. But this is interesting. So just watch what he says here.
Left. Okay. What are your thoughts on Gold Chain Zuck and his new strategy to pivot away from VR to AR, AI, and going full all in, so to speak, on open source?
They're taking a play that we talked about, which makes a ton of sense, which is it's not a core market, but it's very important. The core money-making market for them is monetizing their family of apps. And so they're scorching the earth for these new markets so that the economics are not viable, which will, I think, allow a more robust ecosystem where they'll have more of a say. Because I think up until this point, you could have said that they and Google were sort of lagging behind OpenAI, but I don't think that's the case. And by the way, this is the strategy that we talked about 16 months ago that these big companies should take. I just think it's worth listening to what we said and then basically what Zuck said just right now.
Here we go. This is a black and white flashback. Chamath in a turtleneck. Go.
I think that Google will open source their models because the most important thing that Google can do is reinforce the value of search. And the best way to do that is to scorch the earth with these models, which is to make them widely available and as free as possible. That will cause Microsoft to have to catch up, and that will cause Facebook to have to really look in the mirror and decide whether they're going to cap the betting that they've made on AR, VR and reallocate very aggressively to AI. That should be what Facebook does. And the reason is if Facebook and Google and Microsoft have roughly the same capability and the same model, there's an element of machine learning called reinforcement learning. And specifically, it's reinforcement learning from human feedback. Facebook has an enormous amount of reinforcement learning inside of Facebook. Every click, every comment, every like, every share, the huge companies will create the substrates. And I think they'll be forced to scorch the earth and give it away for free. Now you can see what Zuck said last week.
Look at this little victory lap here.
It's probably also pretty bad for one institution to have an AI that is way more powerful than everyone else's AI. And I kind of think that a world where AI is very widely deployed in a way where it's gotten hardened progressively over time and is one where all the different systems will be in check in a way that seems like it is fundamentally more healthy to me than one where this is more concentrated.
That is, I think, the definition of scorched earth. So, and he's running a really perfect play so far. He's open sourced the headset OS. He's opening sourced these models. He stopped training, I think, for Llama 3.5, was it? And now he's moved directly to Llama 4 just to try to head off GPT-5 at the pass. Well, so what are we seeing? We're seeing the economic value getting disintegrated. There is no value in foundational models economically. So then the question is, who can build on top of them the fastest? And Jason, to your point, Llama was announced last Thursday. 14 hours later, Grok actually had that model deployed in the Grok cloud so that 100,000 plus developers could start building on it. That's why that model is so popular. So it puts the closed models on their heels, because if you can't both train and deploy iteratively and quickly enough, these open source alternatives will win. And as a result, the economic potential that you have to monetize those models will not be there. And what that does is reinforce the existing economic moat that Facebook already has in monetizing their apps. Now, why the stock went down, I'd like to talk in contrast to Tesla a little bit later, because this has nothing to do.
All right. So I think you get the idea there. So I think that was pretty that is pretty interesting what he said there, and even 16 months ago. So the scorched earth idea is basically they are ruining the ground for each other. That's how competitive it is. That's what scorching it is. They're burning the playing field, so to speak. So OpenAI just has to keep up, and they know what Facebook and Google are doing to them, nipping at their heels, being in first place. So they are doing it back, essentially. Where was I? Here we go. So that's the scorched earth idea there. And then, network effects, right? So the more people that use it, the better it is. So if you look at something like the GPT store, it didn't really take off because who was using it? Just the paid users. Now you open it up to everybody who can make it and use them, then they're going to be using it. Like imagine an app store that the only people that could use it were people who were paying $20 a month, then there wouldn't be that many apps and there wouldn't be that many users of apps or any incentive to create them. So the network effects of things like the developer community and the GPT store is big. That's why they need people using the free one. And they want, obviously, the best free and the best paid large language models. And until recently, they arguably had the best paid one with GPT-4, but they were really missing the mark with GPT 3.5. Other people were taking over. So now they have leapfrogged it again. They're hugely ahead of everything. So, um, yeah. So now they're in first place with the free one. They're going to be launching the paid one soon. So my prediction, the hot take here, this summer, 2024, could be the fall, but I'm thinking this summer, June, is my guess, my hope. GPT-5 and Sora, their video generation model, and something about AI agents, which should be amazing, that can do multiple tasks at once, will be released to the paying customers to give them a big enough reason to pay over the free users, and then a bunch of these new free users will consider upgrading to the $20 a month. So that's why they're doing it in that order. It's all about market share, all about making money. That's what they're thinking about. It's no surprise. It's a business. That makes sense. But I think that's what they're doing with this awesome model for free. Now, that's the strategy. That's the timing of it. Love to know what you think in the comments. Definitely go in the comments too and search for sign up for our AI newsletter to get free tools, insights. We just launched a free tool, which is pretty cool. I will share that in the email. It's a YouTube script. You can transcribe a YouTube video with one click without the timestamps, get a PDF automatically downloaded, and an AI summary, which is really cool for research. And check that out in the description when you sign up. So anyway, love to hear the comments. I will comment back and talk to you on the next video. Let me know if you have any ideas for what to make.